Hello everyone. Welcome to Kambel Masterclass. My name is Moses Katamani. In our previous discussion on this platform, Kambel Teachers Desk, we discussed the competencies that a teacher must have to be effective in the teaching and learning process. And the competencies that we identified were: one, a teacher must have command over his or her subject area. A teacher must have command over his or her subject area. Two, we talk about the teacher being a manager of his or her class, or a manager of pupils and students, and whatever is under the care of that teacher. The teacher must be a good manager. Another competence we discuss is about a teacher being caring. A teacher must be caring, and that when a teacher is caring, he can bring the children along in the teaching and learning process. Another competence we spoke about is about the teacher being a cultural and civic personality, and that wherever you are teaching, the environment you are, the community or city, wherever you are, you need to know the diversities in the pupils and students, and also where they are coming from, their beliefs, and you'll be able to carry the pupils along. If so, it will also help you not to go beyond certain decisions or make certain decisions in order to get to be able to carry the pupils and students along. Today we want to talk about qualities of a teacher. The qualities that a teacher must have in order to embrace all the pupils and students. In other words, on the other way around, in order that the children will embrace the teacher, will want to always be with the teacher, or the children will have confidence in being in the class of that teacher, and also be able to learn effectively in the teaching and learning process. We must understand that teachers as personalities, individuals, have their personal qualities, their personal demeanor, and other view. However, if you are going to deal with other people, then you must be able to imbibe in yourself or identify these qualities and be able to do well in the learning process, and also to be able to embrace, for the children to embrace you, and also minimize truancy and what have you. Now, so the first quality a teacher must have in my context is, I'm going to discuss two qualities in this video concerning a teacher, the qualities of a teacher. The first quality that a teacher must have is that a teacher must be effective in his or her interaction with the pupils and students. In other words, a teacher must be interactive with learners. Your interaction with the learners must be in a way that it will not discourage the pupils and students, or will not get them away far from you. So when we talk about interaction, it is how a teacher speaks with pupils and students. It is how a teacher embraces the learners. And in the teaching and learning process, the teacher will not look down upon any child However, whatever they are doing, he or she should be able to understand the pupils or the students. So in the teacher's interaction, in the first thing, if you want to be a teacher that children will want to always be in your class, children will not say that because of this teacher I will not go to school. The first thing is that you must be able to come down to the level of the pupils and students. When we say coming to their level, you should be able to understand their demeanor, their personal traits, that whether the child is a calm type, or let me say that you must be able to understand the temperament of the pupils. Is the child hot-tempered? Does the child feels that inferiority complex in the classroom because of where he or she is coming from? So if you know these things, you'll be able to interact with the pupils and students. Another thing is that, like I said in our discussions previously, a teacher who is interactive with the pupils and students will note their problems. If you try to know pupils, learners' problems, they will want to be close to you. If you try to understand your learners, what their difficulties are, they will be ready to get close to you. In my discussion of the competencies of teachers, I spoke about caring teacher. An interactive teacher, when you are able to interact with the pupils and students, you'll be able to know them well. So in the process of interaction, what a teacher needs is that the teacher must always try as much as possible to know the pupils, where they are coming from, what are their challenges, and how to help them to come out of their challenges. That is interactive. So in interaction, you are not going to, it's not only in teaching and learning that you interact with the pupils. You must also get close to the pupils and students, or the learners, in order to know their problems, their fears. Yes, their fears. Then you'll be able to carry them along, and the children will not show truancy in your class because the children more or less don't like their teacher, because the teacher has been abrasive with them. And no, so an interactive teacher will be able to know his or her children, and the children will always want to be around them. And what results from an interactive teacher with the learner is that the children will always want to get close to that teacher. So if they are ready to get close to you the teacher can have positive influence of the learner. So that is our first quality, a very important quality a teacher must have. You should be interactive with your pupils and students. Don't let them go away with you by shouting on them like what you experience in some schools. And little thing a child does, I will slap you, I will do that. If you are doing that, what is happening is that you are scaring the child away from yourself, and the child sometimes will show truancy because the child is afraid. So a teacher who is interactive will be able to know the problems that the child is having and be able to help the child. The second point that a quality a teacher must have is that a teacher must show enthusiasm with the child or the pupils and students. To be enthusiastic with a child means that you take much interest in the child and you show warm affection towards the child or towards the learners. A teacher who shows affection towards the learners will be more motivative to the child. Let me explain. To show enthusiasm to a child, if you show enthusiasm to a child, what happens is that you identify the positives of a child and you celebrate with the child. You make the child feel good about him or herself, that when the child has done well, you will say, oh, bravo, you have done well. So excellent, you have done well. That is a motivating factor to a child. And there are records that show that teachers who show enthusiasm towards the development of their child, they are able to bring out the best in their learners. They are able to bring out the best in their learners. However, a teacher who doesn't show so much enthusiasm to the child will make the children feel boredom. In other words, whether the child is doing well or is not doing well, a teacher who doesn't show enthusiasm doesn't care. And if you do that, you will not be able to motivate the child to do well. So enthusiasm towards children is very important if you are going to carry the pupils along to do better. So how do you show this enthusiasm? 1, identify when a child is doing well and show and give them, either in the classroom, appreciate them that, oh, the child is doing well. Embrace the child when the child is celebrating his or her birthday. That enthusiasm, that liking will give the child motivation and make them feel relaxed. You realize that this discussion and the first one, interactiveness, are related. When you are enthusiastic about a child, you are concerned about the child will always want to get close to you. And the child will want to sometimes impress you positively, in positive quotes. We want to impress you, so the child will want to do better. Another thing about enthusiasm is that you should not only be concerned that the child is not doing well. If you show concern that a child is not doing well, you now find ways of motivating the child. Motivation, enthusiasm. Motivation is very important. That the child has done something good, you will tell the child, you can do even better than this. Give me 5. You give 5 to the child. The child feel happy. A child, so the child, let's say the child is not doing well, the child scores maybe 4/10, 3/10, and what have you. However, the child moves beyond that line and gets 50%. You have to show that love that motivation to the child. You have to embrace the child and say, oh, you have done very well. If you exhibit enthusiasm towards a child, there is no way that child will say, I will not come to school because of you. In showing that enthusiasm, sometimes we need to work together with parents. And when the child has done well, you can find, now we have technology whereby you are not going to spend too much. You interact with people. You can interact with parents also. Send a message to the child's parents. Hey, James has done very well in this class, in this subject. In fact, the other time he scored 40%, but today he has scored 60%. I think you need to celebrate him. You need to give him a reward. When the child knows that you are doing such a thing between him and the parent, it encourages the child to do well. Now, another aspect of this enthusiasm is about trying to know the emotions of the children and respond to them. Some pupils are so emotional, and that whatever happened in the house affect them. So some of them in the house, they do not, there is no positive energy towards them by their parents. But if you as a parent, as a teacher, you show positive energy towards a child, the child will feel good and want to be around you. So in this context of motivation with the pupils and students, you must always try hard to show positive energy towards the children. Some will say, how do I show positive energy? In all the discussions that I have made up till now, I talk about how you have to embrace the child. I talk about how you have to encourage the child, applaud the child. I talk about how you need to call the parents and congratulate or tell the pupil, their parents that they are doing well. So in showing positive energy, we are saying that you don't show any attitude which shows that you don't care about the child. Showing positive energy is about showing that you care about the child. So in this context, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to talk about two qualities of a good teacher. And the first quality is that a good teacher must be interactive with his or her pupils and students or the learners. You must be interactive. And in interaction, through interaction, you'll be able to identify some of the weaknesses, their challenges, their problems, and be able to help them and solve that problem with them. That is what interaction does with the teacher and the learners. The second one is to show enthusiasm towards the pupils and students. And in the discussion of enthusiasm, my final emphasis is that the teacher must show positive energy towards his or her learners in the teaching and learning process. Must try to know whatever happened in the class, in their home sometimes. And if they have a problem in the house, you give them encouragement, you inspire them. I want to say that one thing I discovered which endears me to my learners or my pupils and students is that I try as much as possible to know about their challenges or their problems. And trying to know about that, I try to encourage them. In one of my discussions, what I emphasized that was about effective classroom management. I stated in one of the discussions that if you try to know the pupils and students, to know their weaknesses, or to know whatever happened around them, especially at their home, you will be able to know their challenges and help them out. Another thing I do, which is more of motivating the pupils, which every teacher must know and must practice, is that you must always try to set goals that you can achieve with the pupils or the learners. And when they achieve the goal, try to give them a motivation. Try to tell them, oh, you are doing well. So a teacher with good quality of interactive quality should be able to know the children's problems or challenges and know how to help them out. I hope this discussion will help somebody in the teaching and learning process, and that you should, if you are not interactive enough with your pupils and students, try to practice it, involve so much in the pupils and try to interact with them to know their challenges, and the children will get close to you. And finally, make sure you always have positive energy towards all your pupils and students. And this context I want to emphasize again, as a teacher, never discriminate against any child in your class, whether weak, whether strong, whether excellent, very good or fair on credit. Make sure that you embrace all of them and inspire them to do better. I hope you continue to follow this discussion on Kambel Teachers Decks, because it will help you a lot. Another thing is that please subscribe to our channel, and when we load our videos or we have our live interactions, you will be able to take part in it. Finally, as I discussed in some of our videos already, October is Kambel Masterclass month of creative ideas and career development. We hope you will be part of this discussion, and you also take part in our seminars and training programs. It's going to be lively and it's going to be educative, and it will help you acquire some knowledge and skill sets for your personal development. Thank you so much, and always remember, at Kambel Masterclass, at Kambel Teachers Decks, we anchor vision and mission. Thank you so much.